Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This video topic is actually a viewer suggestion, and it's on how to make a blog post template in GreenShift. Okay, so we're going to take care of some prerequisites here. We're going to assume that you already have GreenShift installed on your website, and let's take a look at what we need to do to make this work. So first off, we're on our dashboard. Let's head over down to the GreenShift tab. And you can see over here, if you've seen our videos on how to set up your GreenShift website, you'll know that under theme settings over here, you can see that we have options to select default templates for what we can use for our header and footer, um, among other things. And since this video is focusing on blog post templates, we want to take a look at extra template settings, single post template. And you can see by default, we have a few options over here. And if you're fine with these, then there's nothing wrong with that. But if you wanted to make your own, we can go ahead and do that. Now, before we continue again, let's enable the query and dynamic add-on. And this is something that you'd want to have installed and buy from GreenShift if you want to make your custom templates. Now, let's take a look at add-ons down here. And you can see that we have the query and dynamic add-on installed. If it's not installed, it's going to say not installed. Then all you have to do is click on install and make sure that your license is active. Now, why do we want to have this? Why do we need to have this? Let's take a look at some of our posts. So let's click on posts over here, and you can see we have some example posts already made. Let's go ahead and edit one real quick. And these are just some example posts that I've made. And don't worry about the formatting because this is just something to do with configuring the headers, H1, and so on and so forth in a different video. You can take a look at that if you want. But we have a post title over here, and if you click on this, we can rename it. And let's take a look at our blocks over here. You can see all of it. All it really consists of is just a simple text block. And under post, we have a single featured image. So this is just enough to get us started. If you wanted to add other things to your blog posts, you very well know that you can just add whatever block you want and add that to your post body. Now, we need the query and dynamic add-on so we can grab the post title, post data, such as the featured image, from here onto our template. So let's return back here and view this real quick. And this is how it looks like at the moment. You can see we have our title, our metadata, featured image, navigation, comment sections, so on and so forth. Now, to make the blog post template, let's go ahead and go down to Appearance and then click on Editor. Now, this is where you'll find every single one of the templates that your GreenShift website uses. And now this is our homepage, and we can go under Templates over here, and you can see we have all the templates for all of the kinds of pages that we have. And you can see for single over here, let's go ahead and click on that. We can edit it as is, as you can see. So if we wanted to, if you didn't want to make your whole blog post template from scratch, you don't have to. You can just edit it from here. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to, let's go ahead and click on hide. I didn't want to show my metadata, and I wanted to put the title underneath the featured image. I can go ahead and click on save, and I can reload our example post 3 over here. And you can see that the title, firstly, has gone down under the featured image, and the metadata has disappeared because we hit it. Now, what if we wanted to create our own new template? Let's go ahead and click on Add Template. And it's going to prompt us as to what kind of template we want to make. Now, since we're making single blog post templates, let's go ahead and click on Single Item Post. And to keep this video simple, let's apply this to all posts. If you wanted to apply this for a specific single post, you can do that. But for now, let's apply it to all posts. So all of our posts will look like what this template is. Now, we'll be prompted again. We'll be asked if we want to use a certain pattern, but we want to make our template from scratch. Let's go ahead and click on skip. And let's see this work. So let's click on save. And let's reload our single post. And you can see that it tells us the template is blank. Now, let's get started and add in an advanced heading. Okay. And under the options over here, you can see we have H1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can select whatever it is and you can put in your custom text. We have a video all about this. And over here, we have the option to enable dynamic text value. Click on that. Now, if it says enable if this isn't available, it just means that you haven't enabled your query and dynamic add-on. So once we click on that, let's click on post data. We'll select current latest, post, and then click on title. And you'll see that it automatically changes to the latest post. Now, we want to center this up, so let's go down here and center this. We'll save it. We'll reload this, and you can see it'll display only post 3. And if I wanted to go to post 2, it's going to display the title for post 2. So let's go ahead and start populating this, and then let's take a look at how it looks like on the live side. So we're still on the editor for the single post template. Now let's go ahead and start populating this. Now we have our sidebar here. Let's open the block inserter, and we have the title over here, the heading advanced, which we've already decided. It'll look like that. We can change how the formatting looks like. So let's go ahead and change the text color to black. Let's change the letter case to all caps, and it's going to be independent from heading 1, 2, or 3. Let's select the custom font. Okay, that looks good. And we can change the font size if we wanted to. So percent, let's put it to big. Okay, or probably fluid large. Okay, that's rather acceptable, and that's fine. And let's go ahead and add in our metadata. So we want to add some rows or columns. Let's put in 2 over here. And over here, let's go ahead and add in a couple of advanced text blocks. And the same thing as our title, we're going to want to enable the dynamic text value. And here we want to use author data, post. We can put it as display name. There you go. Or their email or ID or what, right? And then even level, we can put that on here. It says level 10, so on and so forth. And if you wanted to format this properly, just go ahead and close these. Typography, there you go. We can center this up, and then we can add some text decoration over here, make the font a bit bigger, right? And then let's go ahead and change the font to something else. Something interesting maybe, and then we can make it have a different color. So you make it red if we wanted to. And then over here, it's just the same thing. We're going to put in a dynamic text value, post data, current post, just to display it. And we're going to put on here the either ID or upload date. Let's go ahead and click on publish date. And let's do this also. And let's make this blue. And let's center this up. We can change the font size some more. Probably something like that. And then the same thing with this, I think would make sense if we made it a bit bigger. Okay, and if we wanted to, we can go ahead and add in some static elements here. So for instance, we can put this on here, and then we can make this as a title for this area. And let's go ahead and call this just something simple like this as an example, and then the same thing with this. Let's go ahead and this. Okay, since it's the publish date, not necessarily the upload date. And that should be good. And we can add some colors in. We'll do that later. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. Let's add in a background color to this, just so we can differentiate each one of the levels. All right, so for this container, let's go ahead and add a background color to this, just so you can see it's a bit different. And then over here, we'll do the same thing. It's not going to look pretty, but again, these are going to be your options as to how you're going to want to customize each one of these blocks here. So far we have our title, we have our metadata on here, and next let's add in the post content. So all we're going to have to do is just drag and drop here another text block. And if you wanted to, let's go ahead and delete this. Let's add the container here, and let's add the text advanced here. And under our container settings, we can set up our minimum width or maximum width. So our minimum width will be 65, our maximum width will also be 65. And then we can align our blocks inside according to this. And you can see it doesn't align perfectly. The block itself, you can see the outline over here. It aligns perfectly within the center. And if we wanted to center align the text within, we can do that with the options under text advanced rather than box container. The box container is just going to make sure that everything is contained within the post. We can enable dynamic text value, post data, current latest, post, and then you can see here content without formatting and then formatted content. So content without formatting, we'll just drop that in there, and it should give us the content from the post itself. So you can put here title if you wanted to, and it's going to have to change. There we go. Or maybe if we save it, it's going to appear in our front end. I went ahead and saved it, and I reloaded example post number 2. And so far, you can see that everything is lining up where we want it to be. Now, if we wanted to contain example post 2, I mean, the title over here, we could go ahead and duplicate this, right? And then put the heading advanced underneath that. As you can see, this is the content without formatting. This goes down. Oh, wait, I accidentally duplicated that. Let's delete that. And you can see now the box container contains the color of where the heading advanced block starts and ends. So this is important if you want to figure out the responsive settings on desktop, tablet, and mobile. And you're going to want to use the width type to adjust it. And you can also go over to spacing here and then adjust the margin and padding for the white space here, the negative space, if it doesn't quite fit the devices that you're testing it on quite right. So let's go ahead and reload this, and you can see that it does, in fact, contain it. And if you wanted to, we can go ahead and add padding on the top. 5, or let's try 10. Oops, oh my god. 10. Save that, and you can see that it's going to move it down quite a bit, right? Or we can move it up again by 5, and you can adjust it here on desktop, tablet, and or mobile. Again, depending on the device that you're using. So far, so good. We have our blog template turning out to be quite all right. And to make it a bit more readable, let's go ahead and put this on left justify. And you can see that it's turning out to be just fine. And the reason why it's contained on this axis as well as on this axis is, again, because of the box container. If you wanted to change the font size, text color, so on and so forth, we can do it from here. I'll go ahead and add in a background color to this just so we can see where this lies in our layout. just for visual reference, and you can see there it is. Now, let's go ahead and add in our featured image. So usually we want our featured image to be between here and here. You can position this however you want. Again, it's up to you. And let's go ahead and add in a box container again. So let's duplicate this box container. Delete this, right? Because we don't want to have to repeat messing with the settings. And let's go ahead and add in an image. Image advanced, just drag and drop that in here. And over here, we can enable dynamic image value and see, make sure that you have any static image uploaded on this block. It will be used as a fallback image. You must upload, or else it won't work. I've tried it and it works, but just to keep things safe, just play it safe, let's go in our media library. And I generated this image. It says placeholder image right there. And I'll go ahead and change the background color of this container to be, let's make it green. And that should be good. And we can adjust like the justification and vertical alignment of our image here. And we can change the width to be automatic. We'll save that. And let's take a look at how it looks like on our live site. And there you can see it pulls dynamically the image that's on the post itself. So, so far so good. And we can go ahead and take a look at the other posts. And, it's going to be different because each one of the featured images is going to be different. So example post 1, so far so good. Okay. All right. So what else are we missing? We still have to add in a few things if you want them, but for this video, we're going to keep it really real succinct. Let's add in a query loop here, and we're going to add in navigation for related posts. So let's go ahead and add in a simple box container down here, and we'll move that down, and we're going to add in a couple blocks. The first block is going to be you can make it a query loop or a listing or taxonomies. It's really up to you, but for this instance, just keep it simple. Query slider builder. Just drop that in there, and you can see that we have all of our other example posts. So we can change how many items we have per row. We can put the speed on here. We can have it on autoplay. Centered, we can center it up if you wanted to, right? Automatic height, mouse wheel control. There's so many other options over here that you could do. And again, we can disable the arrows. So many other options you can do. We can change the bullets. We can add or remove those. We can change the bullet color. Let's make it green, or probably purple would be nice. There you go. And then for each one of these, let's take a look at what we can do over here. Query loop builder, dynamic image. We can change the spacing. We can make them like smaller or bigger. Over here, we have our category, and we can go ahead and hide this if you want from the taxonomy. Down here, again, it's getting the author name and publish date, the dynamic title over here. We can change the heading tag of these, right? And then we can change the background. Let's go ahead and, well, for this, let's go ahead and change the background color. And let's choose orange. Or probably something that's going to stand out a bit more, maybe like pink or something. Purple, lavender. There you go. Just so you can see that it's very different. And then in this box container, let's go ahead and add in a simple advanced text block. If it's in there. Oops, is it? Text advanced. Let's put that on there. And drag and drop that into here. And you're going to make this say, And let's center that up. And let's make this a bit bigger. And let's change the text tag. We can make this a heading if we wanted to, but okay. And that should be set. Save, and then let's reload the site. And you can see, okay, it's turning out the way that we want to, and this is automatic, and it's scrolling nicely. Then we make this smaller. We can contain this into a container. If we wanted to make it smaller, maybe a bit better for readability. And let's change this container to minimum width and something like that. And then we can change the vertical alignment, and then we can set it as that. Or we can, actually that seems about right. There we go. That looks about good to me. And then for the slider and carousel, let's go ahead and change the spacing out here. Save that, and let's take a look at how it looks like. And it should be a bit better contained. Oh, no, it is not. For this one, let's center that, and then we can change the spacing padding on the left side. 50 pixels, 100 pixels. Oh, that's a lot. Automatic, or let's see, percentage, 25, 50. There you go. Save that, and let's hope that it actually fits in. And that's looking kind of cool, actually. Okay, so one last thing. I'm not going to go ahead and add in the comment section area. You could do that with forums, or you could just drag and drop the comment section by default that comes with WordPress. But let's not mess with that right now. And usually for websites that you have, you don't really want to leave any. It really depends on what you want. Sometimes, if your article is long, you might want to add in a table of contents. So, table of content, let's drag and drop that. Oops, not that one. Drag and drop that over. Oops. Let's undo that. Oh, I'll just delete that. Okay, there we go. We want to put that somewhere over here. Table of content, and there we go. So over here, you can see we can enable it to be dynamic, right? Placeholder for the heading tags. We can choose which tags we want to have on here. This option, this option, dynamic table of contents, only works when we're using it in the content editor, or the templates, which is what we're doing right now. You can see. And for advanced heading, we can use either the basic core heading blocks in WordPress, or we can use advanced headings, and we can add in, we must add in anchors in the advanced tab. So let's go ahead and reload this site, and you can see nothing changes because there are no headings in the original post. Let's go ahead and edit the post, and let's add in some headings. So heading advanced, heading advanced, heading advanced. Let's go ahead and type this in as 1, 2, 3. And then we can scatter these about, and then save this and see if it works, right? We've saved that. This is our example post. This is the backend for each one of the posts. And you can see we have the headings appearing on the content area over here, right? So if we were to add in images or other things, they would appear here because this is anything within this is considered post content. So if we were to add in an image, right, just as a as a side, we'll add in an image, upload from the media library, and we'll just select some random photo. This one, I guess, and we can center this up or put it on the right just so you can see. Save it and then reload it. You can see that whatever we put in here is there. And if we wanted for the test heading to the headings to appear on our template on here, it appears, I think, even without having the anchors, which is so interesting. And automatically, once we click on these, they become the anchors. And we can go ahead and go about by customizing the numbers and colors and text, like depending. Let's make it dark green, and then let's make the text color something else. Let's make it blue, and then we can align this in the center. We can make it big numbers. Actually, that's better if we have it on here. We can contain it. And we can add a title to this. So we can put a heading advanced on here. And then let's go ahead and change the heading tag of this. Just to give us some quick formatting. Save it and then reload this. And you can see we have a interesting table of contents. So there you have making your custom WordPress and GreenShift, that is, single blog post template in such a way that you can customize it in any which way you want. So here we have an example of dynamic data being used by the GreenShift blocks, and you can see that we can lay it out in any which way that we want. And you can see that we have a few different options here, which you'd probably find in any typical blog page. And if we were to select a different blog post, you can see that not everything is going to look the same as example post 1, because the contents of each one of these blocks isn't the same, right? So within the post of this, the content of this, really, it's just what we put on here. So if we were to make a brand new post, and let's go ahead and do that right now. I'll save that. Let's make a brand new post right now, and let's add a post. And let's make this example post 4. And then let's add in a featured image. Let's choose an interesting photo. Let's choose, that's a bit too small. Let's choose, well, these are really small photos for some reason. Okay, yeah. Let's go with this one. Set this as our featured image. It's going to be a big image. And let's add in some text. I'm going to put it on here. And then we can put in a heading over here and call this intro, body, and this one's going to be conclusion. And then we can put in some text. And then we can add in some images if we wanted to. Media library. And let's just choose a different one from the bottom. This one. Okay, there we go. Select that. Medium, and then let's center this up. Publish it, and then let's view it on the live site. And you can see we have our brand new example post, and without having to mess with any with anything as a single page, All we have to do is fill in the blanks, just as create a brand new post, and all of our posts will automatically look like this. So in other posts, you'll have to custom add your table of contents, but through this way, we can custom format how our metadata looks like, how our featured image looks like, having a dynamic table of contents, just by filling in the blog as if it were a Docs or Word document, really makes it so easy to make your site all personal and customized. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.